a little bit better at that. I can
Sure.
keep getting better at that every time I speak to some people in my family. So again, I have no real choice there in a sense. And then the ultimate language that I really want to learn for a variety of reasons as well is Arabic. So because that is a language that I kind of have the most desire to learn, I have no choice there either. And that's three languages, two that would be rated as very challenging for an English speaker. So I don't really now have the opportunity to dabble as well. I think the only time I would do that is, let's say if I was going to go on holiday to France, I might intensely learn French for maybe
Sure.
4 or 6 weeks, for instance.
In one, now this is very easy for me to say, and I acknowledge that as I'm saying it, but um, perhaps based on what many people say, because of the distance, as you say, between Spanish and Arabic and Urdu, you could potentially learn at least two of them at the same time and not have too much cerebral conflict, I guess, if you
Hmm.
will.
Yeah, I
Now,
think
again, that's easy
yeah.
for me to say.
Yeah, no, I think that is very true. I mean, in my opinion, the problem of kind of mixing, getting confused, I feel is a little bit overstated sometimes. I mean, I do get it. If you're learning Spanish and Portuguese together, it's quite likely that that would happen. It probably wouldn't harm your communication too much. But with those three languages, and again, at the moment, I feel like I really do have no choice but to learn all three. Again, pretty much at the same time. Um, is that, I mean, Urdu is it is Proto-Indo-European, so it is in the
Mhm.
same very very kind of distant group of Spanish, but
Sure.
it's so far removed it might as well not be. I mean, you can find a few very basic cognates like mi nombre, mera nam, for example,
Sure.
but it's so far away it might as well not be. Um, with Urdu and Arabic, though, I actually feel that they complement each other because Urdu has got a load of Persian and Arabic words in, and a lot of high frequency ones as well. They sometimes have slightly different meanings, but they are pretty similar, and the alphabets are pretty similar as well. So I would actually say those two complement each other somewhat.
Sure.
So I'm not so bothered about the issue of confusion. It's more time management, organization, and giving them all justice.
And the writing systems are the same. Is that what you were referring to? The writing systems are the same or
The,
close
the,
to it?
yeah, they're very similar. I would actually say the font of Urdu is more challenging, just the font in which it is typically written, and it has a few extra letters as well. With Arabic, though, Arabic typically doesn't have short vowels in, so you kind of have to know what the word says or should say, which is definitely another level of challenge. It doesn't have the language actually doesn't have as many vowels, nowhere near as many vowels as English. But yeah, the short vowels aren't actually there in the alphabet,
I see.
at
I see.
least
Wow.
not if it's for natives. There's some text for non-natives where marks are added, but generally they're not there. You have to kind of deduce what it should
Sure.
sound like or just
Huh.
know.
Wow. Yeah. It. I would say for most Americans who are learning a foreign language, that would be a lot to process, or as we say here, and you may say it in the UK as well, but to wrap your brain around, I guess.
Oh, we
And
say that
so
here.
so.
Yeah.
Um, let me okay, I believe I know the answer to this based on something that you have said, I think in a comment recently, but tell me what systems or programs or methods you're using to learn languages at the moment.
So okay, yeah. So I've kind of given the impression, I think, and will continue to do so, that generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of apps. I mean, for several reasons. One of them is just that the amount of screen time that I have to spend as part of my work is just too much anyway. So even what I would say otherwise rather effective apps or programs like even like Link, for example, and Anki, I do think they are generally quite effective, but I tend not to, even now, I tend not to really use them. So at the moment, because of having such a busy life, really, a lot of it is listening while I'm doing other tasks. So BBC Espanol, for example, that's one thing. I'm listening to the Harry Potter books in, well, actually, I mean, I will say actually Hindi and Urdu are basically the same language, but
I
with a
did not know
different.
that. Wow.